Welcome back, traders, and welcome to any new viewers. This is Mike Hamilton from Trade the Easy Way, and we have an hour and a half until the end of the US trading session. And you can see we are just pinched into this corner. So at some stage we are going to get a decision. There's a huge fire line above us. Not a lot of data tomorrow. Consumer confidence, um, Fed budget balance. So, I mean, that could be enough to push this up, but could go either way. That's just really hard to call at the moment. It's just in waves. Most likely was the path of the least resistance. I have to say down, the fact that we've got this, yesterday's bar was so bearish, and it was such a big drop yesterday. Of course, it's all going to depend how the close is, where we close. If we close here, we've got an hour and a half left. This could just fall over in the last hour and a half, and the last hour can be quite hairy, particularly in recent times. Sort of volatility we've got, sometimes you get quite a significant sell-off into the close. So take a look at it, but so I would suggest if we hold here, we could potentially break up tomorrow. If we any little lower close under that 400, for example, anything under 350, and that's got the potential just to roll over. I'm not going to trade tomorrow. I'm just going to stand aside and get on with some work, and then start thinking about preparation for the next week. It's US rate decision next Thursday on the 17th, so that's going to be very, very interesting. Okay, so moving along, let's have a quick look at the DAX. Very similar chart pattern, a lot of chop, no direction at the moment, and very, very I can't say any more than I have said about the Dow. Just non-directional at the moment, with the 20 EMA running along the top of us. And so this market is closed, and we have not closed above the 20 EMA. So that one, the prospect of a drop back down again is higher probability than the Dow. The only thing I would say is, if you look at the MACD at the bottom of the chart here, at the bottom of the page, you see we are sort of trying to round off, and we are getting sort of higher bars here. So we are running out of steam on the downside, but path of least resistance is still down. Let's look at oil. I was hoping this would come and touch 43. It didn't. It came down and touched 43.37. And it's closed higher. This is as predicted yesterday. So if you are interested in oil stocks, take a look at them, because this has got a nice, we've had a decent push up here past this resistance, and this is acting as decent support here, with the potential for this to really sort of come up and start to push higher as we head closer and closer to winter. Gold at the moment is flat, so any push, I'm looking for a push up into 1120 to get the next leg down. If you look at the several factors building into this, couldn't get through the 200 EMA. So we've hit this wall, and we've had one leg pullback, two leg, just need another pullback before we at least get another leg. And this time around, I'm not expecting 1080 to hold. The rate decision next week is going to have a big part to play in that. Okay, so let's look at the dollar pairs. US dollar yen, choppy, a little bit like the yen pairs do tend to follow the main indices, and this is no exception. US dollar CAD. Oil is pushing in some strength into this one. So I would happily, what would I do with this? I would let this drift and then see if we can come down to this main support area and get bought. So that's 129.80, 130. Pound. Let me tidy this chart up a bit. Now that's a decent close, and you can see I've just sort of refined this chart. The middle blue line is the 2015 open here, and we dropped the very first trading day of 2015, and this 15160 area is support, and that top 15820 is resistance. And we've had a good day. So 3 out of 4 days we've pushed higher, but you can see that 20 EMA, which is just very flat, shows you just how range bound this chart is. And so this is a big box. So whichever way we come out of this box is going to give us the direction for a while to come. So we could spend the rest of the year in this box. Who knows? There's not that much left of the rest of the year, really. If sometimes in the box play, if this is going to push lower, so we had 3 tests of the upper side of the box. At the moment, 2 tests of the lower side of the box. Ordinarily, if this is holding the stronger, because we have 3 touches. So if this is going to come off, it's typically in a box. It will come back to just around the medium of the box before it drops out. So I'm looking at this, either this 200 EMA or this level here, for a sell signal, at which point I would definitely take some contracts out on that, some short contracts, and look for at least 150. But at the moment, as you can see, there are clearly no sell signals, and all the time that is climbing higher, I would just buy pullbacks. Like I said, I'm not trading tomorrow, so I suspect that will just drift, test that 200 and possibly just hang at 155 going into the weekend, but we will see. Pound yen is much better. We have closed not only above the 50%, we've closed above the 200 and just sitting on we're just sitting on 200 and we closed above the 20. So this is a very bullish chart. So I would, if I were you, just keep buying pullbacks and still until it stops working. And the pullback to that one would be 186.20. Euro. I have nibbled on a short position at these highs. I'm flat. This is literally where I got short. However, that is, as you can see, a bullish close. We have a heck of a lot of resistance, and that's quite a fire line up there from this area here, this low here, all sorts of touches here, around here. So I'm just looking to see if we can just creep lower and then start to accelerate into next week. If I get stopped out, it doesn't matter because I'm risking next to nothing. it's a marker lot, as I call it. It just commits me to the chart, but without having any impact or next to negligible impact on my account. So I'll keep you posted about that one. And Euro Yen, decent close as well. What I'm looking for is I would like this to kiss the underside of this trend line. So I'm happy for that to push higher, but I want to ideally want to kiss about 138. It's only a couple of hundred points higher, at which point I would want to get short and see if that could just roll over. So I'm looking for this. I think we've had lower highs, a breakdown of this trend line, so I want it to come up and kiss it and then just roll. At least back down to support. So I can't draw very well on this. However, if it just fails here, it just goes a little bit higher, starts popping into finds some resistance, start putting sell signals in. Obviously I was short at that stage. Anything else? It occurred to me with oil bottoming like that and gold potentially about to accelerate to the downside, it occurred to me that we should be looking at the Aussie CAD. Now that is potentially a very powerful chart pattern. If we can continue to build on this bottoming pattern and close above this trend line coming down here, this is a funnel breakout, and I'll show you what happens on these kind of patterns. This is the Euro US dollar, and you can see we had a huge funnel which built up from February 2013 to May last year. We broke out of it at the end of May last year, and not any pullback got sold into, and then we just tanked. And this is potentially here, this is what's potentially happened to the Euro Yen here. Yeah, a series of lower highs. We drop, we pull back, can't go anywhere, and they just pull the plug. So I'm looking for a repeat of that on the Euro Yen, and I think this Aussie CAD could do the opposite. I think this Aussie CAD could build and really blast out of here. It's been slopping around, but yeah, we had a decent couple of waves down, but as soon as we close above that resistance, that will become support, and I would expect this to potentially go back to parity. So how do we trade it? Well, I think you could buy a position at 93 or 93.50 at the moment, with a stop under 92. So the risk reward ratio is great. That's your risk. That's your risk, and that is your reward. Well, if we get to parity, that's your reward. So that's a very small level of risk for this kind of potential. Anything else? Let's update ourselves on stocks. Kempra is sideways. Zyopharm. Ooh, Zyopharm's picked up. That's significant. That's if you're prepared to risk that, just be careful, because if that is a funnel pattern and we can't close above this resistance, that could just roll over, get another. So we've had one leg down, it's potentially late, wave 2, and wave 3, 4 and 5, if it pans out, could get us down to yeah, some of these levels down here. However, it has been trending very well. It has been a very, very popular sector, and 94 is a decent level of support. Okay, I am short this one, Lena, whatever you want to call it. I shorted it at that resistance. We're trying to hold here, but that's a bit of a hangman. Let's see if we can lose our footing there and start getting lower. Mentioned MTH. That has gapped down. So I am going to leave it and alarm a gap fill. I'm only in Lenore, and although I was watching this one, I didn't take it. Beazer Homes, this is even better. And that just looks as if that could just roll. I mean, that is not a happy chart. If you're not in this, you might want to try and get 1650. Has got a lot of support down there. That's the only trouble. Risk reward ratio is not good. However, it looks as if it could roll. I would leave it and let's see if we can get any kind of pullback if you're not in that. Right, let's look at this, do an update on the oil stocks. Rig is happy. That's beginning to build. A lot of resistance above. If you're interested and you're not in that, 1430 is a possible entry. Divergent, stick MACD down there. The other one was Patterson. We talked about Patterson. It's worth a shot. That was quite some selling yesterday. I'm not comfortable suggesting a long on that one, so I'm going to have to leave that. Conoco is not great. The way the oil is holding is, and all the time we're above 48.40. That's exactly where we are right now. We could potentially climb higher, but that's not a great chart either. Okay, I'll leave it there, and I will see you over the weekend.